What's up, y'all? It's your boy King Cxshmere. Welcome to My Two Cent podcast, where we talk about my thoughts and I share my 2 cents. All right, y'all. So today we are going to discuss boundaries. It's a touching topic for me because if you have a big heart, anything like myself, then you know where I'm coming from. Um, so, all right, we're going to jump right into it. So, a lot of us with big hearts tend to think of others before ourselves, right? And a lot of times we find ourselves feeling burned. Um, People have been ungrateful. You tend to feel resentment towards people, and so on, right? And for whatever reason we do things, for whether it is for a good intention or not. A lot of us, we do tend to forget the fact that you should do something for somebody and just don't worry about the aftermath of it. But regardless of the fact, it still is hurtful when someone is ungrateful to you, and especially when you might be giving out your last, and you might need something, a car repair, you might need a ride, a babysitter, or your child might be sick, something might come up. But anyway, any of those things could bring to your attention that you should not have given out your last, right? Or done something or stretched yourself thin, right? So regardless of the matter, you want to remember that you should have boundaries for things, right? So I want people to know that boundaries are important because they stop you from having to deal with situations all in the first place. And let me give you an example. So a lot of times we have, people who we call friends, and our friends always, they believe, it's okay to believe that you can think that you can borrow money or whatever the case may be, or get a ride or whatever that is, right? But we have to always remember that if, let's say, you're not someone who's rich, let's say someone who you're not in abundance, let's say that you're someone who's, if you lost your job, you'd be broke today. So if you're someone in that type of a situation, then that means you probably should not be handing out money, even if it's $20. A lot of us do that out of the kindness of our heart because, we don't want to see somebody else struggle. But when it comes time for us to need something, right, nobody's there. So you should already have it in somebody's head that you are not available to loan out money because you don't make enough to do that. And if you think about it, like, and this is just an example. I don't know what anybody's financial situation is, but I would just say, in my personal opinion, I believe, like, okay, if you have like less than $1,000, you probably in your savings account, you probably don't have $100 to loan out. And because anything less, just think, like, if you have like $600, $500, that's a lot. $100 out of that is a lot of money. It's a good fraction. And $100 out of 1,000 is 10%. That's like commission, that somebody didn't work for. And when you think about that, when you start to think about, like, dang, like, I could really, there are times where you need that. You might need to fly somewhere. You might need to get a hotel. You might need to get a set of tires. You might need a down payment on something. You might need to repair something at the house. You never know why you might need that set of money or more. And I mean, I have a family member who always told me, like, I give too much, I do too much for people, da da da. And I used to get upset at her, because I'm like, no, if somebody needs something, I have no problem, giving them my last or helping them out, like da da da. And I had no idea that was a foolish thing to say, and there are a few verses in the Bible. I won't quote them, but if you just simply read it will definitely tell you that you need to take care of what you got going on first before you help someone else or take care of someone else, or better yet, you should not be pouring from an empty cup. And when you think about how we have come as people, right, we do tend to pour from an empty cup. And it's not okay to do that. Your cup should be full. And a lot of times, sometimes we're half full, we're a quarter full. That's also not okay to be pouring from. Your cup should be overflowing before you feel like you could pour into somebody else's. And that's basically my point. So I'm just saying $1,000, it could be $10,000, it could be $5,000, whatever the number is, whatever you may think to have in your head for yourself. If you know that you don't have a certain amount above that, then you should not be doing that. If you don't have the time to give to people, if you know you only have a certain amount of time in the day, you need a certain amount of time for your rest, you need a certain amount of time for your kids, you shouldn't be doing certain things outside of that would disrupt that time, because after that, it's like you're disrespecting yourself. So when it comes to boundaries are important because people should know where they stand with you, and boundaries show where people stand with you. So they won't think to even tell you certain things or ask you certain things. And it's not to say that they can't say, oh my gosh, like I'm going through something. Like, it's not to say that you can't be a shoulder, but you can't be somebody's crushing shoulder all the time. You always have to think, I got to take care of me first. I am the most important thing that matters to me. And it should be like that for everybody, because what you tend to find is that's exactly how that person feels when they're asking you for something that they don't have and they don't intend on paying back, or whatever the case may be. Now, what I want people to understand, that boundaries are not set to block people. You shouldn't use them to, cast people out and banish people from your life. I truly believe that you just need to have a balance of where people should have a comfortability with you and certain conversations that they should have with you. Like, for example, just because they're not asking doesn't mean they're not asking. A lot of times people love to use situations like they'll just mention like, oh yeah, I'm going through this da 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 and I need, but they're not asking you. But yeah, they should know not to even have that kind of conversation with you. And it's nothing wrong with saying no. It's nothing wrong. It'll save you a lot of headache in the long run. And I really want to leave you all with this lesson. The lesson of the sun. One of my favorites, and God taught it to me. The sun has been around for millennia, and a lot of times it's been shining, right? It gives light, it gives life, it gives warmth, and a lot of times it doesn't get a thank you from all the things or people that it takes care of, right? But it's consistent. It's been there all the time. Before you were here, it'll be here after you're here, So when you think about the sun, it sends all its love, its good energy to all the planets and all the life out here, whether or not it gets a thank you. And we have to learn to simply love without a thank you, regardless. But also, the one thing I love about the sun is that it loves at its capacity. It loves at a distance. The earth can only take but so much love and light from the sun, right? Because if we were close, like, I don't know, Venus, Mercury, we'd all be burned up. We wouldn't be here. So because God strategically put the earth where it is and the sun where it is, we have a chance at life, and we had it for a very long time, God be the glory. But when you think of the sun, think of it doesn't normally get a thank you. It always shines, and it simply loves at a distance. So the earth knows it can't run up on the sun and say, hey, give me some more heat. It got to take what it can get. So I'll leave y'all with that. All right, y'all. Peace.